In this week's Parsha, Parshat Ki Tavo, we read a pasuk that says as follows: V'ra'u kol amei ha'aretz, ki shem Adonai nikra alecha, v'yaru mimecha. Which means, let all the nations of the world see, ki shem Hashem nikra, that the name of Hashem is upon us, v'yaru mimecha, and they will have fear and respect and awe of us Jewish people. Chazal, in particular, in this case it was Rabbi Eliezer HaGadol, interpreted this pasuk that if a person is wearing tefillin berosho, a man is wearing tefillin berosho, this will immediately evoke a sense of awe, of fear of the Jewish people. There is certain power over there in the tefillin sheberosho. And there are many, many incidences that took place where there was a threat to Jewish people, and yet when they were wearing tefillin, the threat somehow dissipated. An incident is recounted with the Gaon Vilna. It is well known, this great sage, the Gaon Vilna, as part of his service and his personal growth, he went into galut. He went into exile. He exiled himself for a significant period of time, wandering from community to community, not revealing his identity. And this way, it says that galut is mechaper, going out into exile when a person is not recognized for who he is, he's a stranger. It's a belittling experience. It can be sometimes a demeaning experience. Sometimes a person needs to beg even. And this galut is mechaper, say Chazal. Galut is something which atones a person. So the Gaon, this giant of spirituality, of learning, went into galut. In one of his travels, he was staying with a certain individual. He was rooming with this individual, and he would spend the time in his day studying, and he would pay him a paltry sum and would be given some basic means of survival, and he would sit there in the galut not revealing who he was. He was sitting one day in someone's house, and he heard a tremendous commotion. He heard screaming and shouting, and the Gaon heard this commotion, and he heard his balabait, his host, screaming for mercy. So the Gaon ran out, and he saw that a group of non-Jewish bandits were in the process of robbing his host, and his host's life was at stake. So the Gaon flung open the door and walked towards these bandits, these murderers, and they had one look at him and they fled. And they left the balabait, they left the host. The host turned to the Gaon and said, "What did you do?" So the Gaon said, "I did nothing, it's a pasuk." The pasuk says, "V'ra'u kol amei ha'aretz, ki shem Hashem nikra alecha v'yaru mimecha." That when a goy, especially a goy, is threatening, and he sees Shem Hashem nikra alecha, and Chazal say Shem Hashem is referring to the tefillin, and it's the Gemara interprets this because in the tefillin we have a shin, which is on the tefillin shel rosh, and we have a daled, which is the shape and the form of the daled, the knot at the back of of our tefillin placed on the head, and the knot that secures the tefillin to the arm of the tefillin shel yad is in the form of a yud. And Chazal say that these three letters, shin, daled, yud, make up one of the holiest names of Hashem. We can't pronounce it. We say shakai, shin, daled, yud. And this is on the tefillin. And that is why, says Rabbi Eliezer HaGadol, that is why there's such potency when a Jew is wearing tefillin, that this is the fulfillment of the verse, V'ra'u kol amei ha'aretz, the nations of the world will seek, Shem Hashem Nikra, that the name of Hashem, Shin Daled Yud, Alecha, V'yarum Yimeka, they will have fear of you. So the Gaon said, I didn't do anything, I simply came out wearing my tefillin, which the Gaon was prone to. He wore his tefillin all day while he studied. So this man said, okay, but I'm also wearing my tefillin, and why didn't my tefillin work? Why did only when you appeared that these goyim, these brigands, these robbers were stricken with terror and they fled? So the Gaon says that Rebbe Eliezer Gadol said, Eilu tefillin shebarosh. He doesn't say Eilu tefillin when it says that the pasuk is referring to Shem Hashem Nikra Lechad. Rebbe Eliezer Gadol says, Eilu tefillin shebarosh. These are the tefillin which are in the head. It doesn't say Eilu tefillin al harosh. These are the tefillin which are upon the head. They are the tefillin shebarosh. He says tefillin have this power when they are internalized. A person's wearing his tefillin and he internalizes and he has deep intent of what he's doing. The tefillin become part of the rosh. They become part of him. That's when they have this extraordinary power. So we see from here that one can perform a mitzvah. And of course, a person wearing tefillin is performing a mitzvah. It's a great mitzvah. But in order for the tefillin to have the power is when internalizing what we're doing. Even though tefillin is a chok, is something which we don't fully understand. But if we appreciate the beauty of this mitzvah, this sign, which helps us remember our obligations and duties in this world, and we internalize them, the tefillin become part of us. And then they become potent. And that's what the Gaon explained to him.